Hello, Cancer. Welcome to the Sunflower Path. My name is Jess, and I'm looking at Mercury Retrograde for your sign. It begins November 9th and it ends November 29th. It'll start in Sagittarius, but then retrograde into Scorpio November 18th, and then it ends with Scorpio. Mercury retrograde is about reassessing our relationships, friendships, any legal contracts we may have. It shakes up our foundations. Since we're in the pre retrograde, things have already started to seem weird in our communication, travel, and technology. You may be having like any exes or old friends revisiting you or looking at your social media, but not actually interacting with you just yet. But since retrograde is happening during the US holidays, uh, I wanted to see if there's any way we can avoid like awkward or heated debates, plans for delays in case you're also traveling, and just, yeah, be aware that it's not the best time for contracts. And since it's in Sagittarius, it will first begin in your sixth house, which is work and like your health, your daily routine, service to others. Um, and then I'll go into your fifth house, which is creativity, romance, any fun hobbies that you may have, your relationships with children. Um, so, yeah, just wanted to see what we need to revisit during this Mercury retrograde, what you need to release, what are some unknown factors that you need to be aware of, what precautions you can take, what needs a rest, and what will keep you in balance. I will pull out some oracle cards for any additional messages that may come through. Oh, it's fast. That flipped so fast. What are some things that Cancer needs to release? Ooh, that was a lot. Factors, unknown factors. Okay, I'll begin with those three and then look at the others later. But justice as what you need to revisit. Maybe anything that caused you feelings of unfairness. Maybe you sense that lately someone's been lying to you, or someone didn't take accountability for their actions. Maybe you're the person that didn't take accountability for your actions. And something needs to be made fair, balanced. Someone needs to come out with the truth. There's some truth that's been hiding here. Some decision that needs to be made with your mind rather than your heart, because that needs to be released. And the Knight of Cups is usually about following your heart, following your dreams. You see that cup up there. He really wants that cup. Those are his like aspirations, and there's usually like an emotional sentiment value to that. But that is something you need to release. So I'm wondering if there's a decision that needs to be made with your mind rather than your heart, and that might cause some sort of a struggle there, especially once Mercury retrograde goes into Scorpio and into your fifth house, because that's all about romance and fun. Someone needs to take accountability for whatever action came through or was made. I would be very careful about legal matters during a Mercury retrograde. Because again, it's not the best time to sign anything. Because usually, once that Mercury retrograde ends, we may not agree to that contract that we signed. We may regret that decision later on. So just be mindful of that. Yeah. Be aware that you need to release any emotions lately. Maybe a romantic pursuit that I don't know. I don't know who if you've been chasing someone as of late. If it's not a person, then it's definitely something with emotional value. Because this is about like romantic gestures. This is like your knight in shining armor, you know? So if this is something you need to release, maybe it's also about emotional immaturity. If not from you, then whoever you're dealing with. Um, Maybe it's also about opening yourself up to new experiences, though. But just be careful though. Make those decisions with your mind. I think that's what Mercury retrograde is going to be about for you. Making decisions with your mind rather than your heart, and being fair to yourself and to whoever you're interacting with. I'm wondering, in a work setting, if any of you have a crush on a work colleague and maybe that needs to be released, perhaps it's a bad idea. I'm not sure. This will be up to you to make that decision if it feels right to you. If you think it's also right for you, um, perhaps give it a go, but really, 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 really think it through first. What are some unknown factors coming up that you need to be aware of? These are celebrations. You're about to have a very active social life during Mercury retrograde, especially once it hits that fifth house, starting, I think, November 18th is when it goes into Scorpio. It really depends on your birth chart, though. Um, if you're a Cancer rising, that is. Um, but you're about to have a very strong social life. A lot of friends. I feel like a lot of friends are to come through for you, may contact you, perhaps through social media or text messages, or yeah, they'll probably get in touch with you to hang out and reunite with you, go out and have fun. That might be factors that you're not aware of right now, perhaps because you haven't heard from your friends in a long time. You've been too caught up with work, perhaps. But what precautions can you take then? You reversed. What means a rest? And what will keep Cancer in balance? Reversed. Hmm. Death reversed, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Moon reversed. Hmm. I would say it's a precaution to confront and let go of what no longer serves you before it causes you any further harm. So acknowledge your fears around an ending of a situation, whether that be situationships, a job, an outdated religious belief, maybe that no longer serves you. You need to be able to transform yourself in order to avoid saying or staying stuck. Because we're Death upright is all about transformations and necessary and even radical change in order to be born anew. And maybe you've been avoiding that process because it hurts. But just remember that once you come up from the ashes, because this is a phoenix, you'll be a stronger and brighter version of yourself. So, as a precaution, don't resist change if change needs to happen. Let go of any situations that are no longer working for you, that are no longer healthy for you. Because if you cling to that, it's going to become a very unhealthy and unstable environment for you, whether that's a relationship or a work environment. There is something that is like quote unquote dying, but not in a real life death type of thing. It's more of a it's changing. It's going through that phoenix phase or a butterfly phase if you want to go through something that's a little bit easier or not easier, but I know with phoenix you burst into flames and that might scare a lot of people, but whereas a butterfly will transform in a cocoon. So with a cancer, the imagery that's coming to mind is that you're going within your shell to transform um, into a better version of yourself. So a precaution would be to avoid uh, resisting any changes that need to be made, confronting any fears associated with transformation or letting go. Like maybe you're afraid of stepping into the unknown. In the beginning stages of Mercury retrograde, since it's going through your sixth house, I'm wondering if it's any, not just work environments, but perhaps health. Like maybe you've been delaying a treatment or not accepting that there might be a deeper issue going on with your health. So address those health concerns head on. With the Eight of Pentacles here as something that needs to rest, that immediately tells me work. Because the Eight of Pentacles is all about mastering your skills, mastering your talents. And maybe you need a break from that. Maybe you need a break from overworking yourself. Because even if with work, you continue to work because you want it to be perfect, but even like as human beings, we need that break in order to recuperate and recover, rest, in order to be more productive. Like even during the time of rest, we can think of different ways to approach work. The moon reversed here as what will keep you in balance. You're overcoming things like that has a fiery light, whereas the moon has a more gentle light here. So you're overcoming fears because the moon upright can talk about our deepest fears, the subconscious, what keeps us up at night, secrecy even, because if you can see upright, she's got like this mask here, so people who are around you may not be who they actually are. So reversed, secrets may be revealed to you, hidden truths are coming out in the open. What's that English phrase? The cat's out of the bag. um, and these are things that will keep you in balance. Perhaps going through this health thing again, if you find the truth about your health, that might keep you in balance because now it's not something to be afraid of. You actually know how to resolve it. In terms of like relationships, hidden truths that we may not have considered in our relationships may come to light. A clearer path will be made for us, when we confront our fears. We're overcoming self sabotage or even self deception if we're wearing that mask. Or even confronting unresolved feelings, because the moon, especially like our moon signs, that's all about our emotions. That makes me want to ask, like, what's your moon sign? I want to say this might be during the time Scorpio, like Mercury retrograde begins in Scorpio, because Scorpio is associated with death, and you have Libra. The moon's associated with Pisces, so Pisces might keep you in balance. A Libra might help you bring in some sense of justice and honesty. A Scorpio might help you with your transformation and helping you accept the necessary changes that need to be made in your life. Now, you don't have to be. It's just what I notice, the signs that are coming up. So I'll look at. Oh, it's upside down. Morning star, keep shining even when others have quit. A morning star. Is that Venus? Do any of you have a strong Venus in your chart? Well, Venus is associated with Libra, so I'm wondering again if Libra is going to come up. But keep shining even when others have quit. I'm going to pull one more. Thrive. There's enough space for the moon and her stars not to tear each other down. Perhaps you're in a work environment or even in a relationship where, like, some of the bad habits could be that you're tearing each other down because there's competition when there doesn't need to be. Maybe some people are afraid of your light. But also realize that there's enough room for everyone. I'm a big advocate for women, empowering women, because I know society likes to put us against one another. the last message to see what Cancer needs to hear. There we go. Or two of them came out. Appreciation and beginnings. So you have daffodils and violet copper as beginnings, and then appreciation, sunflower, and oh, I'm not pronouncing that last one, but Diana something. And I'll look at the messages there. All right, with beginnings, there are new beginnings around us all the time. Oh, that might be tied in with that too, since radical transformations bring new beginnings. Anytime there is a new change, there's a chance for a new creation. Anytime something passes, there's a fresh start. Every day brings in a new dawn, a chance to start over, another opportunity to do things we have always wanted to do and be the person we want to be. Make today the birth of the person you want to be. Let go of the past. Thank it for helping you learn, grow, and start again. It doesn't matter how often you fall, just that you get up again. It's never too late for a new beginning. And I'll look at appreciation. Reflect on that which you have kept a deep adoration for, and in turn, know that you are also enjoyed. No matter how small and insignificant you may feel, the universe is thankful for you and wouldn't have created you if it wasn't. There are so many things and people around us to be grateful for, and both great and small. Even people we might not be so friendly with will have aspects we can learn from, be inspired by, or otherwise appreciate. As you move through your day, remember to appreciate the small gifts, be they moments or people that appear around you. Today, recognize and be thankful for the goodness in people and opportunities in the world. So ask yourself, who and what will I appreciate today? And that's all I have for you. I hope this resonates for you. Thank you for stopping by, Cancer. If you resonated with this, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.